they had that long-term track record. There's something that's sustainable, something that, would my mother, my sister, my father, would someone I know use that product or service? Would they use it continuously? And clearly, as you know, your family owned the business for 15 years, starting from literally as a business to a franchise. It really does show that it's not a fad. It does have that long-term track record. But can you kind of walk us through where those trends are looking over the next couple of years and how someone may be interested in real estate could see iTrip as a good opportunity?
Absolutely. Yeah. So really good point. I'm glad that you brought that up because, when we did start, 2008, 2009, like I mentioned, Airbnb was not that household name that it is
Yeah.
now. And short-term rentals, or they were called, vacation rentals back in the day, or alternative accommodations is what a lot of people would call them as well. That was just the way that you looked at it. You had a hotel, or you could do this kind of cool new thing every once in a while, that was this vacation rental or alternative accommodation. And then we saw, as this concept continued to gain traction, get speed and get more speed, that it really was becoming mainstream. And it absolutely has become mainstream. It's growing into a big industry, and there's a lot of short-term rental properties out there that people have, again, found this opportunity and wanted to get a little piece of the pie. We're
Yeah.
starting to see things too in the hotel industry is really acknowledging how much of an industry the short-term rental I guess short-term rental industry is overall. They're trying to get a piece of the pie as well. So they see that they're losing business, they're losing customers,
Yeah.
renters from hotels to short-term rentals. So now they're jumping in. One of our partners actually is Marriott Homes and Villas, and we partner with them strategically for bookings. And so we're able to advertise our qualified properties on the Marriott Homes and Villas sites, and their Bonvoy members, which there's about 153 million Bonvoy members internationally, which is a group of people that, Marriott's been working on for a long time to build this Bonvoy program. So they can use those Bonvoy points to either book a Marriott hotel or a short-term rental for their partners in the short-term rental industry. We're
Huh.
seeing Hilton start to jump into that game as well now. So
Yeah.
the signs are all over saying that this is a established industry now and is going to continue to grow, and that is exactly what we
Yeah.
expect to see as well.
I love it. Like, I feel like we keep having breaking news on the podcast. Like, that's huge news right there. And, also one of the things you brought up earlier with how franchise owners don't have to sell as much to clients, and having that brand recognition, having those systems in place, having that marketing support. Those are two really big things that I hear with everyone that I speak to is, do I have to sell? Because a lot of people, they come from corporate America, they want to start a business, they want the clients, but they don't want to have to sell to get the clients. So having those systems in place where it's not really a sell, it's just, this is my good or service, this is really how I can help. And then having the marketing plan where you can just execute that strategy, not having figure out all these different ways to sell and find your customers and XYZ. And another really good point, as you talk about these new national relationships with hotels, that is a huge thing that I hear with people is, what kind of national relationships do they have in place? And that's another big thing with, do I want to start my own business? Do I want to franchise? Having national relationships in place are just so powerful. And we really saw that play out over COVID, where you see all the mom and pops, all the small businesses, and it really is unfortunate, but a lot of them went out of business during that time. A lot of small businesses, and it's just because you don't have those resources in place. And, if you don't have that strong track record, when it is a tough economic cycle, which I hear from a lot of people right now, it becomes tougher and tougher with one of those newer kind of emerging businesses, where something with the well-established, having those track record in place. So I think those are really two really big points that I wanted to highlight. But kind of just shifting back into the short-term property management industry, your family, you were a franchise owner for a couple of years.